You are listening to the USDN on the DSPN.
It's a trap!
What is up, everybody, and welcome to the United States Department of Nerds, where we are for the people, by the people, and of the people. Before there were cinematic universes, before fandom was mainstream, before comic culture filled convention centers and streaming platforms, there was a 9-year-old boy, bullied, mocked, branded a social pariah. His crime? Loving comic books. Then one night in the mid-'60s, two figures crashed into America's living room. Batman, starring Adam West as Batman, Burt Ward as the lovable Robin. And just like that, everything changed. The bullying stopped. The drawings in demand. The outcast became the most popular kid at Lincoln Elementary School. But fame is fleeting. TV shows end. Families move, and receptions fade, and sometimes your favorite comic shop gets replaced by a cornfield. Until one day, from out of a tree, steps the most important person you ever will meet. Tonight on the USDN Podcast, we sit down with Mark Dooley, creator of the actual semi-true adventures of Mark and D, and Mark and D, Genesis of a Fanboy, a love story, a fandom story, most importantly, a life story. The Council of Nerds is now in session with the most wholesome story I will probably ever have the opportunity to do on this podcast. Mark, welcome to the USDN, my friend.
Thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely, sir. We're happy to have you on. Mark is fresh off his role in some Shakespearean dramas, and he is ready to sit down with us tonight and walk us through his life story. But let's jump into it. Take us back to Lincoln Elementary School. What did it mean to be a comic book fan before it was cool?
Well, this was
We're getting in the Wayback Machine.
Yeah, definitely. Well, prior to 1965, comics was still being considered the hub of juvenile delinquency. So, and anytime you brought up anything like Superman or Batman or any of that, you basically got a lot of feedback. And there were some bullies there that absolutely had in for me because that was a stupid thing for kids to be doing, comic books. They made life miserable for me for a while. But basically what happened is one November night at a campsite I was with my grandparents, and we were at a Thanksgiving camp out, which wasn't much of a camp out. It was in a shelter. all the trailers were parked out back.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wanted to be in that nice warm shelter. All my good friends in the camping club are running around going crazy. My grandfather had set a little bitty black and white TV set on the picnic table, and I'm sitting there doing my doodles. So just my artwork wasn't much at that time. It was like round heads, square bodies, 3 fingers.
So the Simpsons.
Yeah. No thumbs. 3 fingers. And I'm sitting there just doodling. I'm diddling Batman and Superman and whatever else is coming up in my head. And some of the girls are coming over. Oh, can you draw me like a cartoon character? I went, yeah, I guess I can, Sarah. No problem. And just as puberty's starting to rear its ugly head, all of a sudden, in the middle of Rocky and Bullwinkle, comes this ad. Batman is coming! And every kid in the entire shelter house heard that, turned around, went, what? And for the next 30 seconds, we were enraptured. Everybody just froze in place. I'm sitting there just kind of, oh my God. And then when it came back, they all looked at me. And I said, where you guys want? I want a picture of Batman. I want a picture of Batman and Robin. I want Superman. And the twins that were there going, we want the whole Justice League of America. I went, do you see the line? Get in the back of it. So, but that was just an amazing, crazy time. And we were all waiting for the next 4 weeks for that to pop up. And when it did, it was like nothing you ever saw until, I guess, when Star Wars came out. Oh, yeah. You could not walk downtown and shop at any of the shops without, you could throw a rock and hit something with Batman and Robin on it. So, and I lived in a really great place to get comics. There was a Cummins bookstore. I lived downtown in an upper apartment over a barber shop run by an evil barber. And oh yeah, he was evil. You should have seen the faces on this guy that he made when he saw the Beatles on Life magazine.
He was just excited because that's a lot of hair for him to cut.
Yeah. Well, he just hated it. He's those rotten people. And my grandmother would be the one to take me down there to get my hair cut, and I was just straight ski jump. That was it. The haircuts that were guaranteed to make sure I would never get near another woman as long as I lived. So, anyway, they just had an evil pact. Okay, so but right down the road was Cummins Bookstore, and then the G.C. Murphy's was right across the street, and they had a nice little comic rack, but what made them stand out is they had a basement full of toys, models, everything, just really cool stuff. And then just 2 blocks down, there was Nagel's bookstore, and if you couldn't find it at Nagel's, nobody's printed it yet. So
oh, nice.
They had 2 spinner racks and 3 wall racks loaded with comics. And of every type. There was DC. There was these upstarts called Marvel. Did anything happen with them?
I think they did okay. I think they did okay.
I keep hearing. I met the Marvel heroes in the worst possible way. I asked my grandparents, could you please get me like Justice League of America? And they said, okay, we'll do that. And they brought me back the Avengers. Issue number 5. It was the one right after Captain America returned.
Okay.
And I'm looking at these aren't the Justice League, Grandma. And she goes, well, they look like the Justice League. And I said, I don't know who these people are. There's this guy with this red, white, and blue trash can he keeps throwing at people. And there's this long-haired dude, some tree-hugging hippie with a hammer called Majoner. And here's a pituitary case with a teeny-weeny little wife. And never mind the rich guy with the iron lung. I don't know who these people are. So it took about another year after they started appearing on TV and the
Mhm.
Spider-Man show came on,
Oh yeah.
and then that just warmed me up to it right away. So, and the Fantastic Four, which
Mhm.
to the Hanna-Barbera version to me is the best animated version ever done. So they picked the right people to do the voices. The animation was designed by Alex Toth, as close as you could get to Jack Kirby without throwing off his schedule. and
Hey, that was a
but
busy man back in those days.
and the perfect voice for the Thing, Paul Frees. Oh my
Mhm.
God, I still hear his voice when I'm reading Fantastic Four books. So, but anyway, but for those next 2 years, the bullying stopped because they were afraid, don't hurt him. We may need him for playground stuff, you know.
Yeah.
He knows all about the superheroes. And if we got a question, we don't want him having the, I don't have to bust his mouth open or anything. Just leave him alone. So, and those 2.5 years were absolutely great until Batman got canceled.
Yeah, so the Batman craze faded and the bullying returned. How did that affect your identity as both a fan and an artist?
Well,
Because I mean, you were the Batman guy.
it was basically the plans were by my stepdad to move us out to the country where there was very little TV reception. I mean, everything was just fuzzy. And we were far away. We were 30 miles out from anywhere near a comics drugstore that carried comics or
Mhm.
the downtown area and everything. And I was not happy about being moved away from my grandparents, my lovely little niche in at the apartment right downtown, the hub of
Mhm.
commerce, and so I kind of threw a fit, and then one day we got new neighbors, and my brothers talked me into doing hide and seek with the three sisters and the brother who were over
Mhm.
there. And one day I was, they got me into this, and all of a sudden there's a hand comes out of the tree and goes, "Hey, up here!" And so she just literally grabbed my hand, pulled me into that tree, like I didn't weigh a thing, and I was about 160 pounds, pretty thick
Mhm.
for a 12-year-old kid, and that's where I saw her, and it was like, oh my lord. So and she was just, we just absolutely struck. I wouldn't say it was love at first sight, but it came a running.
Mhm.
So, and we spent as much time as we could until finally my mom finally kicked my stepfather out of the house, and we went through a pretty rough night, which I have depicted in our comic strip Genesis of a
Yeah.
Fanboy, and we eventually had to move back to Columbus because there was no way Mom could afford on her own to keep that house up. So we had to break up for just a little bit, and we still stayed in touch. But eventually, she came to in my senior year, and we were able to hook back up, and we had a couple of so breakups over
Mhm.
the years, but finally in 81 we pretty much cemented the deal, and then 83 I got down on the knee and I hold out the ring and I went, "You wanna?" And she went, me see. I guess I can make the time. I don't know.
I love it.
But she's just been wonderful to me, and flash to about 20 years later, and I finally decided, we gotta make this story in a comic book, and that it started off basically as retaliating against the job I did have, and because I knew if I could just get my head into it, we could do something really good with this. And finally, I just decided I just wrote across the top of the first page the actual semi-true adventures of Mark and Dee. And so we started off easy with me and introducing everybody to me and Dee and our cat then, Samson, and going to movies and pretty much doing a Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Jennifer Lopez movie, Enough.
Yeah.
Bill Campbell. I went J-Lo versus the Rocketeer. Really? He's going to have to go get more guys. But we kind of did a little 6-page riff on that. And then I decided, let's just go meet the characters at the Comic Cave. And so I base most of them on my best friend Michael. He's Mickey in this one, and we several,
the Wookiee, aka the Wookiee.
Yeah, the Wookiee. Yeah, he always wins. So he was with us the day we went to see Empire Strikes Back. We were all in the car. We're going to Bloomington to see it there, and I, like an idiot, got the paperback like 4 days before the movie came out. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to read the first chapter. Just look at that. Oh, nice battle on Planet Hoth. Okay, yeah. And then I say, okay, I'm putting it down. There's it. I got to see that battle with Luke and Darth. So I'm back there going, oh, he lost his hand. Luke is what? Darth Vader is who? Oh God! And that was it. And then I just knew I had just spoiled the crap out of this.
Oh yeah.
And on the way, the guy that's driving this said, "I heard you read the book, so you just keep it to yourself." So, not a problem there. And my friend leaned over and went, "I know what happened. You read the book." "No, I didn't." How did you know? And our guy driving says, "Don't you know? The Wookiee always knows. He always wins." Anyway, but we also chronicled that that day we went to see the Star Wars for the first time in the comic strip, which is going to be part of our next with the Kickstarter we just finished, the collection of the comic strips called Genesis of Fanboy. And I had to throw that in there because that was an adventure all on its own. We had to switch cars back and forth because I was driving my grandparents' old beaten up old station wagon that the back window had pretty much been shot to pieces, and there was no way that car was going to make it all the way up to Indianapolis. Yeah. So, and there was only one theater running Star Wars that summer of 1977, the Eastwood Theater. There will never be a theater like that ever again, because it has Cinerama screen. I mean, a curved screen. Yeah. Dolby stereo system stacked a floor high behind it. And when that music started up, we were clinging to the back of our seats, trying
Mhm.
to hang on for dear life. But it was just an amazing experience. And so we made as many trips as we could to go see big science fiction films at the
Yeah.
East. So we saw Alien, we saw Brainstorm, The Dark Crystal, all kinds of stuff until they finally closed around 1992. They finally
Mhm.
shut down because they couldn't compete with the multiplexes.
Yeah.
But
So Genesis spans the entirety of your childhood through teenage years.
yeah,
We're talking triumph, tragedy, separations, physical struggles. What was it like putting all that emotion and life down onto page?
trying best to remember it in order. So
Mhm.
trying to remember, okay, this happened. I almost moved forward with something else. Oh wait a minute, we gotta put that in there too.
Yeah.
So every now and then I had to restructure things a little bit. Sometimes
Mhm.
throw out about three or four strips to oh we gotta do this part. So
Yeah.
the most difficult part was trying to suss out from Dana exactly what was going on while we were broken up
Yeah.
before we finally got back together in '81 because we didn't see each other for like a year and a half
Mhm.
after that last breakup. And but she talked about uh, her time as a farm girl. She liked being around horses.
Mhm.
Now, she's never really ridden a horse, but I decided, for the sake of a good story, let's have you ride a horse, okay? And she goes, okay, that's all right. So immediately I put her in a Lone Ranger outfit,
Mhm.
and me as Tondo, of course. So
Hey, what's the Lone Ranger without his Tonto, right?
yeah, well, this is where the actual semi-true part of this comic book comes in. So, but she would not be bad as a Lone Ranger. No. So I'd be a pretty piss poor Tondo though. So
So I want to send a shout out to Alfred over at Page One Comics.
uh,
Good people over there. Writes a fantastic comic book. He was just on the podcast a few, I think maybe a week, nope, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So Dina faced some serious health challenges in this time frame as well. How did that period kind of shape both your bond and your storytelling voice?
um, one of the things she went through was she had scoliosis.
Okay.
She had a curvature of the spine. She had to spend almost 3 years in a body brace to
Mm,
straighten that out. Well, they had a choice.
yeah.
They could either do a very difficult and expensive operation and there was no guarantees in either of these. Whether she went with the operation or the body brace, there could have been a chance that would not do the trick, but this
Hmm.
was her best shot. So the only one they could really afford was doing
Yeah.
the body brace, and it pretty much brought to a halt. She wanted to be a cheerleader in junior high, and she was certainly athletic. I mean, she was
Hmm.
able to do cartwheels and backflips and all kinds of stuff. And that pretty much put the kibosh on all that. But
Yeah.
uh, but it was a difficult time for her, and
Oh, I imagine so. Not just her, but everybody. All her loved ones were right there with her going through it too.
yeah, and but the good thing is she got an early reprieve about half a year before that thing was supposed to have done the trick, and the doctor said we're going to let you out of there early.
Hmm.
So so they took the whole thing off, and she never really had a problem with it ever again. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. So anyway, but it was a good story to do about her and just all the things she's
Yeah.
gone through. She put a lot of faith in that she would get through this with some help from above, and
Oh yeah.
I'm not about to step on that at all. So
Yeah. No, I don't think that's the person you want to make angry.
I have seen too many weird things in my life happen that I can't explain at all, and I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
So,
But Mr. Birdington on Twitch says, "Yo, so what's up?
hello.
Appreciate you stopping through." So let's 1983, September 24th. What does that feel like now, decades later, to revisit that moment through comics?
Oh, it's crazy. We had to do the build up to how that happened because we did have that breakup. One of the things that happened was she had a cousin. I've renamed that character. She's kind of like a combination of a couple other people that were in her life, and she pretty much put an earwig in my head, saying, "What do you two have in common? I mean, you're got your head in the clouds and stuff, and she's pretty solid. So what do you have in common? I don't see how you guys can work. You're going to work this out." And
Yeah.
and that I was acceptable to people saying things like that and getting me kind of depressed. And I just started having doubts about whether, or not to, because I was ready to. My grandmother had given me the ring, her old engagement ring, and said, "Well, if you think you can make it, you do it." And then I just kind of put it away for a while, and it might have been good that we had a couple of little breakups, so that we could learn to tolerate one another.
Oh yeah.
And
I think that's the most important part right there.
yeah,
It's can you tolerate them?
absolutely make sure that this is what you want to do. So anyway, so eventually she wound up getting a decent job at a diner. She was kind of living in a halfway house for a while because she was having an outs with her parents, and some sort of deal there. Okay, I think it's good. All right. Anyway, but and then eventually she gave me a call and said, "Why don't we get together someplace?" And so I met her down at the library, this is like early summer. It was just beautiful down there, and she showed up in this beautiful yellow dress, and it didn't take long for everything to start. The sparks were flying, and it didn't take long for me to realize, who else is going to put up with you? Who else is going to put up with your stupid shit? Come on, she is a wonderful girl. Let's just settle down and let's see how things go. And it was like about a couple of months later, I finally brought the ring out and I said, "Let's do this." And she,
nice.
Yeah, okay. So
I like it.
We had some delays. Unfortunately, my grandmother had passed away in early '81, and we were still my grandfather was going through some illnesses, and I was living with him, helping take care of him. And then he started dating. Yeah, he started dating. So then he offered us to take care of my great grandmother, who was 83 at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother and his then wife were taking care of her they had an adjacent apartment next to the main part of the house where Grandma Brown lived, and they were moving to their own place. So he said, Grandpa says, "Could you take care of her?" And we went, "Yeah, no problem." So we took care of her and her crazy Pomeranian dog Buttons. And,
It had to be a Pomeranian. You threw crazy in there.
yeah, he was so much fun. Sadly, he started getting ill. His kidneys were shut down, and he was literally blind. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
his uh, his eyesight started going. So, but we took care of Grandma Brown uh, for right up to about 80, later in 84, when she wound up breaking her hip, and
Mm-hmm.
she had to be moved to a nursing home.
Okay.
And so she hung off for about another 5 or 6 months, and then she passed away. So they had to sell the house, and we moved to my mom's old place on Waymeyer Street, which brought me back full circle
Mm-hmm.
to right behind East High School again. But we spent the next 6 or 7 years there until we got an offer to move into another house up by 22nd Street in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent a few years there. Now we're in this nice little apartment that's kind of compressed, but it's really nice. And I've got my Mark guys like Mark Wade, Harlan Ellison, and Marv Wolfman, and all them guys have always said, when you get your own office, surround yourself with
Mm-hmm.
all kinds with what you love. And by God, as you can see behind me,
Oh yeah. I
I
was looking at those when you popped in earlier. I was like,
I
ooh.
did. So anyway, but so we did that, and fortunately, is I'm getting much older now. We don't have to climb as many stairs.
That's always a good thing.
Well, we were living in a townhome, and the bathrooms were on the top floor.
Ooh.
Now you come off of a long downtown walk, and all of a sudden, we
Oh
got
yeah.
home. And by the time we got home, accidents happened. So,
Yeah.
so the good thing is we finally decided, let's move to some place where everything is on one floor.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, trying to move the stuff I had to this apartment, we're never moving again. I don't care how much they raise the rent. We're staying right here. This is nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was telling mine the other day. I'm like, I have one more in me, and after that, I'm not doing it again.
yeah, it's pretty difficult. Try moving a 25,000 piece comic collection from one place to another.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine having to move mine.
There's an albatross you never want around your neck.
Oh well, I mean, I'm dealing with it now. I
Yeah,
mean,
I've got the remnants of it in stacked up in our closet. But we got rid of a lot of it a few
mhm.
years ago, and I'm not missing it really. So
Yeah,
I kept all the stuff that I really need to have, so I can look at the art and get
yeah,
helpful hints and things. But I pretty much have stopped buying regular pamphlet comics. Graphic
yeah.
novels work out just great, or the collections.
Oh
So
yeah, the omnibuses and stuff like that, the
yeah,
trade
yeah.
paperbacks. Yeah.
Oh man, this one they did. DC was doing those bra or showcase,
Oh yeah, yeah.
phone book size things.
Mhm.
And one of the things I lost during my time out in New Berners, I lost a lot of my classic Spider-Man, Batman, Detective Comics, and
Mhm.
stuff. And here they all are in black and white, and that whole period of my life that I just adored the work that was done in those. And now not only are they in black and white, I can study the ink styles,
Mhm.
which is big time. Oh man,
Yeah.
the color reproduction back in the 70s and 80s was so bad, and because it was done on cheap paper,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and now you
It's
get,
basically newspaper.
yeah, basically. And I always look forward to looking at as close to original artwork as I can. That's why I'm so glad there's so many of these volumes coming out with actually reproducing the
Yeah, the
original
ash cans.
comics page. Yeah, the Ashcan books. We got a collection of the of Will Eisner's Spirit that is absolutely drop dead gorgeous looking
There's
at.
a reason why that man has an award named after him.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So, but now if they could just make a decent movie about that character. So,
Nah, well, we're getting no that one's I don't know if we'll get that one, but maybe.
yeah, maybe one day when somebody stops fooling around, saying maybe the same people who they turned this over that were trying to handle a Doc Savage adaptation, it ain't gonna happen.
Nah.
So,
No, but let's talk about the actual semi-true adventures of Mark
okay,
and D.
yeah,
So that shifts into contemporary storytelling at the
yeah,
Comic Cave.
there it is right
Why
there.
was it why was it so important for you to include and spotlight a real comic shop that like that for yourself?
Well, sadly, it is no longer in existence. It was turned
Mhm.
into a little block of industrial, I think, insurance companies and things like that. But
Hate to
that
hear it.
place was just. When I found out that place existed, I was just awestruck, and uh, and the people there were super nice to me, and I offered to do paintings on their windows,
Mhm.
and in exchange for store credit. So, and we had some really great stuff up there. I did a Lord of the Rings pastiche, uh, big old Spider-Man battling Doc Ock. Uh,
Yeah.
we have one small window on the side of the place that had Pikachu and the bust of Ben Grimm smoking a stogie, and him just going, "What the heck are you?" And we did one that did survive that
Mhm.
is owned by somebody else now, and God
Yeah.
bless him if he knows what to do with it. That's fine. I did a Superman, a Golden Age Superman, and Captain Marvel thing with Clark coming out of a phone booth and basically Billy yelling Shazam, and
Yeah.
that's the only painting I think that survived
Mhm.
the tear down on the old place. But he kept it. Somebody did a story about it in the paper, and
Yeah.
said, "Do you ever want to try to get that back?" I said, "Where am I going to put it? Let him have it. That's
Yeah.
fine." So, but it was a great place to be. I love doing a story about it. We did the holiday holiday special, which is almost entirely set in the comic shop,
Mhm.
and the yeah, it's just about the people that I just loved. I wanted to do a little Christmas slash Valentine thing to all those people, and we came up with a really good story, and it's still when I'm going through it again, it just brings me to tears.
So you have said that that is one of the best comics you ever made.
Yes, it was, because I was able to put I put a lot of the kinds of characters that I would want to hang out with and
Mm-hmm.
would have my back if trouble
Yeah.
ever came. And that certainly comes true for it. Doesn't even focus on me and D. It's about Mickey the Wookiee Walton, Jamal Farrowgood, uh, Mickey's future girlfriend, Tandy Breckenridge, and and a bunch of street thugging goons who should never go up against a hungry Wookiee. So, but it was, and in the end, we also have a nice splash page featuring all of our families, our
Mm-hmm.
friends, some who are sadly no longer with us, and
Yeah.
it's it was just a good story to do for Christmas, and it sold the mini comics I made out of it sold
Yeah.
pretty well. But eventually, what I decided to do was turn it into full color and do a full size version of it with our stupid cats at the top. So poor little snowflake. I miss or Siren. That's Siren. Says so they are gonna hate us for this forever, and they did.
Oh, I imagine.
Oh, they look so adorable. I don't know. I kind of like it. Moose. But
So you also mentioned that Steven and Toby represent RPG culture and Gen Con energy. How important was tabletop gaming to yourself and Dee and in the friendship in the friend group?
I haven't done a lot with their characters, but I am going to.
Okay.
I did run a stretch of early comic strips with them actually doing RPG and imagining their characters, who are, of course, far from the scrawny and heavyweight,
Mm-hmm.
the Stan and Ollie that are in reality.
Yeah.
They're like, trolls. They're like well built trolls and Robin Hood adventurers and stuff. And but we are going to do a full story about them eventually.
Okay.
Probably with our next issue, we'll do like a backup feature just for a warm up. But they're fun because they kind of remind me of Monk and Ham from Doc Savage. They will argue and bully each other and screw over each other, but in the end, they will lay down their lives for the other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love so much about those characters. So, but anyway, we're gonna do something with them big time. And
Let's talk about your Kickstarter, Mark. So you have Genesis of a Fanboy, Volume 1.
Yeah,
that is going to collect 10 years of your comic strips.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that right now? Is that
I do have it right now. It's all set. It's ready to send to the printer as soon as our funding comes in, which should be this week.
Nice.
And I can't wait. I'm probably gonna put a rush on it because I really want to see these books. We send our stuff up to Comics Wellspring, and they have done a phenomenal job with our books. The day they sent this to me, we opened that box up and saw this, and I just cried.
Yeah,
this is exactly how I saw our comics. That just the way I wanted to see them, and it was just amazing to see that. And I just sent them all kinds of. You guys just made my dreams come true. So, but we're we're working on the 6th issue of it right now, which is all about our wedding day.
So I'm glad you bring that up, because you just closed the campaign February 15th.
Yeah.
And now you're in the pre-launch stage for the actual semi-true adventures of Mark and D Volume 1, correct?
Yeah, and we have.
And that's going to issue 6 revisits.
Right here. Here you go. I'm sorry.
There you go. Oh, no. That's even better.
Yeah.
Which I did use this cover when I made the video to announce this.
Yeah. This collects the first 5 issues of our book, plus the super special. Now, the reason this one isn't out there right now is because there was a mistake made by me.
Okay.
We lost page 6 of page. Yeah, it was. We lost one page of the book. Now, it doesn't really screw up continuity. It's the early one about our little trip to the movies, which isn't bad, but it's one of those things that when it gets into my head, I'm going, I can't sell this because we got to have that page. So basically, I'm giving it to people who just want a little introduction to our stuff. And when we do this new one, we will have, well, of course, we'll have all the pages in it. We will also have a backup feature with some of my early comic strips. Basically, this one covers when I found out I had type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
And how that all built up, just basically me making bad eating choices. And then in the front of the book, we are going to have what I did. I did a 6-page introduction to send to prospective publishers. If I decide not to do self-publishing, send that. It was a little like an introduction to our characters, a little tour of Columbus. So it's really cool to do all the architecture and stuff of our major architectural wonders, and then introduce everybody to some future storylines, and it was really cool. It was just basically a little pamphlet thing, and I decided about a year ago, let's turn it into color, and we'll put it in the new edition that we do. So now there will be all that in the front of the book to get everybody warmed up on stuff, and then we go full tilt with the stories.
So when is this new campaign going to start?
In about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I want to get things out of the way with Genesis, get those books shipped off, and so I can spend time I do little videos and stuff that appear on our Facebook page. They're available on YouTube. Just look up Mark and D, and you'll find them. But I love doing those videos.
Okay.
I do find some good non-royalty music that goes so well with some of them. One thing I really would love to do, if we run into somebody who has more money than common sense, some TV producer says you'd make a good TV show. Excuse me. And I would there's one song that I would love to approach this guy, Justin Hayward. Do you know who he is?
I don't know.
The Moody Blues. He was the lead singer.
Okay.
He is now most of them are gone, sadly. He's doing stuff on his own. And he did this one song called Living for Love. And it's our story. It's everything that we have gone through. Riding through this, I'm driving through the land we knew to find that sacred ground. And when I heard it, I went, if if through some miracle this should actually happen, I will hop on a raft and I will traverse the Atlantic Ocean, get to London, and I will knock on the door of Justin Hayward and get on my knees to get that song.
Mhm.
So, and I don't know, I've heard some great things about him. It could like what's her name said, it could happen.
I mean,
So,
it could. You never know. I mean, I've seen them make crazier shows out of weirder shit.
yeah, that's true. So that Pope who became Catholic one time. Oh yeah, yeah.
So, Mark, for anybody who is discovering Mark and D for the first time, where do you think they should start?
Start with my Facebook page because I'm posting up there almost every day.
It's a true story, y'all. He really does.
Yeah. If you want to see our archive stuff, there is the Boss One blogspot.com. That's where I have you might have to do a little searching,
Mhm.
but in the files, but they're all there. As much as I try to keep up with it as much as I can.
Yeah.
So, but there's that, and I post on Instagram. I don't make a lot of use of Instagram like I should, but and you can also see our stuff on YouTube. Just do a search for Mark and D, and we're there. And we I would reactivate my Twitter account until somebody else buys it and doesn't turn it into.
I'm a Blue Sky guy myself.
Yeah, I do Blue Sky also.
Yep.
I got Blue Sky. I've got if I can ever figure out Reddit's, I don't know, it's a mess. But Substack, I've got an account on Substack, and I have a Patreon page. So
Yep.
just look up Mark C. Dooley. So, but anyway, if anybody ever decides to turn X back into Twitter, I'm all for it. Until then, the floor is lava. So, so
I like it, Mark. I like it a lot.
Well, that's it's this is what I retired for, so I could completely focus on doing these stories. And I've got so many in my head. Right now, I'm pushing 70. So
I couldn't tell if you told. I was sure you were lying right now.
We're running out of time, and I'm trying to get as much stuff as I can get done and not throw a hip. So, which I almost did tonight, coming up and down that silly little stair.
Hey, that's why you got rid of the stairs, right?
Yeah,
that's why you
yeah, really. I do have to go up a little flight of stairs to get to the thing, but we're in the basement. We are super protected from storms and tornadoes and crap. We've gotten a lot of tornadoes around here. Now, the good thing is Columbus is kind of like in a pit when it comes to tornadoes. So we don't get a lot of touchdowns outside on the outskirts of town. We haven't seen one come through the city for about 50 years now. So.
Okay.
But anyway, so we're in a pretty protected area, and that's good, because sometimes I have to leave her here by herself, and when storms come, it's kind of scary.
Oh, I imagine, yeah.
But anyway.
But Mark, before we let you go, any parting shots for the people?
Buy our books.
I love it. I love it.
Buy our books. We're going to try to set up a website eventually, as soon as I can get the money together for that. Because right now, basically, I'm living off of me and hers. Website. So, retirement, our Social Security. So money comes kind of hard, but that's why we're doing the Kickstarter thing, made me build up those funds and get stuff. Right now, my concern is I'm not looking for fame and fortune and all that crap.
Yeah.
I've just got these stories up here that absolutely are screaming to get out. And that's what I want. As if the thing can just pay for itself, I'm perfectly happy. So this is what I retired for, so I could absolutely focus on doing these stories and entertain people like you.
No, I appreciate it so much, Mark, for you joining us.
Well, thank you for
I promised the people this would be the most wholesome interview I ever do, and I think we accomplished that, Mark.
Oh, with a few little cuss words here and there. I try not to do a whole lot of that until somebody gets me.
I said the majority of them this time around, so I will take that one.
Okay, great. Hey, it's a good thing I got my teeth in today. How about that? All right. Well, thank you.
This man is entertaining. I love it. But I'm going to bring it home and we'll close it out, Mark.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right.
Some heroes wear capes, some wield gadgets, some swing from the rooftops, and some draw. They draw their pain. They draw their love. They draw their childhood. They draw their community. Mark didn't just survive fandom before it was fashionable. He documented it. He honored it, from comic shop laughter to Kickstarter campaigns. This is what indie comics is all about. Real creators, real stories, real life, panel by panel. Mark, again, thank you for sharing your world with the council. And to everyone at home watching or listening later when it goes live on podcasts and platforms, if you believe in autobiographical storytelling, even if it is only semi-true, if you believe in comics can capture love, loss, and loyalty, if you believe fandom shapes who you become, support this campaign for Mark, follow the journey, and also subscribe to Mark and subscribe to the USDN while you're at it, because here, indie comics come to life. Ladies and gentlemen, the council is adjourned. Y'all be safe out there, and good luck on your work week. Y'all be safe.
It's a trap!